Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is the 684th Rome Total War Brotherhood game that I've put onto YouTube. Straight away you'll see this is fought once again on probably my favourite map, the Germanic Forest map, as we've talked about before, with the big open plains. So if you want to fight out in the open, that's great. Or if you want to hide your troops in the trees to spring those nasty ambushes, you can do that. Plus, of course, as we said before, with the winter bonus and the woods bonus as well, you can bring barbarian troops, and as I said, you'll get the winter and woods bonus as well if you bring barbarian troops. Okay, our first teammate is Brotherhood member Cal. Nice to see Cal back on RTW. He's had a long break from RTW, and I hope that we're going to see more of him. Now, he's got the old bog standard 31k Roman army of 14 infantry and 6 cavalry. Okay, 14 infantry, 6 cavalry. Quick look at the upgrades on his cavalry, and he just got 7 upgrades in experience, stripe, gold shield, gold attack. So as I say, that's the old bog standard 31k Roman army, 14 infantry, 6 cavalry. Our next teammate is Brotherhood member Pompey. Now Pompey's got 11 pikes, 5 archers, and 4 cavalry. Okay, 11 pikes, 5 archers, 4 cavalry. Quick look at the upgrades. I think he's got mixed upgrades on his pikes, if I remember correctly. Some of his pikemen have got 8 upgrades on, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack, and I think other units there have just got 6 upgrades on. You see, just gold shield, gold attack there, and other units there have got 7 upgrades on. So he's certainly got mixed upgrades within his pikes. My guess is the lesser upgraded units will be the forward units to take the pilas from the enemy troops, and he's just got gold shield, gold attack on his companion cavalry. So that's Pompey's Macedonian army. It'd be interesting to see how well that does during the course of the battle. Okay, our next teammate is Brotherhood member Spearman. Now Spearman's just got 10 infantry, 4 of the cheap medium range archers, and 6 cavalry. Quick look at the upgrades on his infantry, and you'll see I think he's got mixed upgrades. He's already got 7 upgrades on most of his infantry, and experience, stripe, gold shield, gold attack, and others of his infantry you'll see he's got lower upgrades, which I'm presuming will be his pilot shield units there. So to say, he's got mixed upgrades on his infantry. Quick look at, he usually brings serious cavalry, so let's have a look. Yep, there you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So he's got 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack on his cavalry. So that's a tried and tested Spearman army, pretty balanced there. And our last teammate is myself, Spartan Commander, who's got his very old Spartan Commander's army of 13 Spartans and 6 archers. But just to say, people have said to me, why do you call yourself Spartan Commander and you never seem to bring the Greek cities? So I thought for this battle I would be a Spartan Commander and bring my old Spartan army there. Okay, well I've got to be a Spartan Commander sometimes, haven't I? So there you go, that's why I thought I would bring this army. Let's say this is a very old army and very old battle formation. If you notice here, I've got I think it's 5 elite Cretan archers and 1 of the cheap short range archers there. So I've got mixed archers. So there's our team. It's quite diverse really, because you've got Cal with Scipii, we've got Pompey with Macedon, we've got Spearman with Julii, and myself with Greek cities. This should be a cracking battle for you to watch. And here is the other team. Now you'll see Earth here has bought a Britannia army. Okay, we're not going to look at that now. We're going to come back and look at that in a little bit more in depth a bit later on. Okay. Okay, so their second teammate is Brotherhood member Mantu. Now Mantu has just got 7 Sacred Band Spearmen, 7 Slingers, and 6 Cavalry. Okay, I think that's quite an unusual Carthage army there. Just 7 spears. So, very unusual. And I say he got, looks like he's got 7 upgrades on his Spearmen. Let's have a look at the upgrades on his Cavalry. I'm thinking that, yeah, there you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Fully upgraded Sacred Band Cavalry. Okay, fully upgraded Sacred Band Cavalry there, but only 7 Spearmen and 7 Slingers. So I think that's a very unusual Carthage army. I don't know what you guys think. Their next teammate is Brotherhood member Barclayman. Now Barclayman has got 14 Sacred Band Spearmen, 1 Slinger, and 5 Cavalry. Okay. So 14 Sacred Band Spearmen there. See, I think he's got 7 upgrades on his Spearmen. His 5 cavalry, of course, will be hiding in the woods. Okay, and I think he's, if I remember right, he's just got gold shield, gold attack on his 5 cavalry. But I've got a question for you here. If you were bringing a Carthage army, which of these 2 armies would you bring? Would you bring Mantu's 7 spearmen, 7 slingers, 6 maximum upgraded cavalry? Is that the army that you would bring if you were bringing Carthage? Or would you bring Barclayman's army, 14 sacred band spearmen and 5 cavalry? Please leave your thoughts in the comments, because I'd be interested to hear on which of these Carthage armies you think would be best. Okay, so it'd be interesting to see what you think there. And their last teammate, if we can find him, is somewhere in the woods here. See if we can find him there. Oh yeah, there he is. And that is Brotherhood member Lando. Okay, now Lando has got 12 infantry, 6 cavalry and 2 archers. Okay, so 12 infantry, 6 cavalry and 2 archers there. Okay, so there's the enemy team. It's got the potential to be a really great battle, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay, at this stage of the battle, I thought we'd have a look at Britannia a little bit more in depth. Now here you can see Earth has bought what we call a modern Britannia army. And you'll see that if you count up his head hurlers there, you'll count he's got 14 head hurlers. Okay, so 9, 12, 13. Yeah, 14 head hurlers he's got there. Okay, so you know the devastating firepower that 14 head hurlers can bring. And he's gone for, I believe, the Barbarian Warlord chariots there. Yeah, you can see the Barbarian Warlord. Remember, Britannia's got 2 lots of chariots. You either got the heavy chariots for about 500 denarii with 3 hit points, or you can go for the Barbarian Warlord chariots like this with 5 hit points, but they're over 1,000 denarii each. Now over the years I've experimented with both types of chariots, and I found these Barbarian Warlord chariots to be the best. Those 2 extra hit points really do make a difference. So as I say, if you bring Britannia, I'd always advise you to bring these Barbarian Warlord chariots, because 5 hit points is really worth the money there. But what I was going to say was, with 14 head hurler units here, remember the heads that they throw are effective against armor, and make no mistake here, they can bring devastating firepower against enemy troops. You will see whole enemy units almost dissolve in front of your eyes when they're hit by the volume of effective against armor heads that these guys can throw. So make no mistake here, these guys, as I say, could bring devastating battle winning firepower. But, and it is quite a big but, if by the time they've thrown all their heads, they haven't tipped the balance of the battle in their team's favour, all you've got is 14 light infantry. Okay, so as I say, if you don't tip the balance in your team's favour with the devastating heads that they can throw, by the time they've thrown all their heads, then all you've got is 14 light infantry. Those of you that watch our battle videos regularly will know that my Britannia army that I bring is very old school, very old fashioned and very balanced. My Britannia army consists of maybe 8 chosen swordsmen with good upgrades on. Now remember, those chosen swordsmen, you might not know this, have got the same morale as urban cohorts. Excellent morale. Okay, so you put good upgrades on those chosen swordsmen, you know, with their excellent morale, and you've got really good infantry. So I bring 7 or 8 chosen swordsmen. I just bring 5 head hurlers. Okay, that's all I bring, 5 head hurlers and 6 barbarian warlord chariots. And it's very important when you bring Britannia to have teammates that understand the way that Britannia fights, because you need a Roman ally who's like kind of a pathfinder. And what I mean by that is he'll run into, he'll attack the enemy Roman team in front of him, and his Roman troops would take the pillars, make first contact with the enemy, and then what I do then is I run my chosen swordsman through my allies' infantry into the enemy infantry. I bring my head hurlers forward there, so there are 5 head hurlers are throwing their effective against armor heads into the enemy troops, and then I'll bring my chariots in, hopefully at the right time, and then my Roman ally that was the pathfinder will ram home that attack with his cavalry, and most of the time you will then have a massive enemy rout in front of your troops. Okay, so I would suggest, if you like, try bringing an old-fashioned balanced army, but as I say, this 14 head hurlers and 6 chariots is the modern Britannia army, and as I say, those head hurlers can be absolutely devastating with the firepower that they bring to the battlefield here. But as I say, If you don't tip the balance by the time they've thrown all their heads, all you've got is 14 light infantry. Okay, at this very, very early stage of the battle here, I just thought I'd show you our team setup here. You can see here, can you see I'm moving my Greek city army, my Spartans, into the centre behind my allies there. Okay, now the reason I'm bringing my Spartan army into the centre here behind my allies is that I can then move to either flank. As we will be expecting a chariot attack from the Britannia troops there. So by bringing my Greek cities into the centre there, I can then move to either flank to help against any chariot attacks. I'd just like to draw your attention here. Can you see that Mantu? Remember, he bought 7 slinger units here. Can you see how he's spreading them out across the battlefield here, especially here on our left flank here? Probably, now I'm wondering here if my allies' cavalry, if they're going to bring their cavalry out to try and take out these slingers. Okay, I remember thinking at the time here, we could actually, if I had cavalry, I may well do that, but you don't know what's hiding in the woods there. That's the problem, you see. You don't know what's hiding in those woods if you charge your cavalry out to try and take those slingers out, because the slingers look very, very exposed, almost like bait, don't they? Do you think they look like bait? They're ready for us to attack with our cavalry, and then there's some nasty cavalry in the woods there, the enemy cavalry springs out onto us there. And over here you'll see their Britannia ally here. Now you see that he's now moved his chariots there. He's got all his head hurlers there, but he's now moved his chariots out there into the woods. And what I'm thinking he is thinking here is to maybe slowly move his chariots. And don't forget, you've got Mantu's fully upgraded Sacred Band cavalry there as well. And what I'm thinking here is that Earth is looking to bring his chariots out here on the flank, maybe teamed up with Mantu's fully upgraded cavalry, and maybe is what he's thinking here is bringing the chariots and maybe that fully upgraded cavalry of Mantu's in behind us over here. I don't know what you guys think. Do you think that would be a good tactical move to bring the chariots in behind us? I think that could well be a good move there. And here you can see that Spearman now has moved his short-range archers forward to try and neutralise those slingers, but also now he's bringing his cavalry out. Now straight away you'll see Mantu is now retreating his slingers towards the woods there. Can you see how he's retreating those slingers towards the woods? And as I say, you can see Spearman's Julii cavalry coming out in wide open formation to cover more ground to try and hoover up, if you like, the slingers there with that wide formation. Okay, that's why he's got them like that. And also, of course, in open formation like that, you're going to suffer less casualties from missiles. Okay, so you can see there they've chased them off there. And just wanted to show you something here. Now here you can see that he is now Spearman is now retreating his cavalry unit instead of pressing home the attack. Can you think why he doesn't want to press home the attack with that cavalry unit? Well, of course, he doesn't know what's hiding in the woods there. As I say, there could be some nasty enemy cavalry there ready to spring out on him. As I say, those slingers looked a little bit like bait to me, and if they were running back towards the woods, as I say, there could be some hidden cavalry in those woods there ready to jump out onto our cavalry if we got too close to them there. So that's why Spearman didn't press home the attack. Okay, now as we said earlier here, you can see Earth bringing his chariots on a very, very wide route there. Can you see? Very, very wide here. Probably hoping that we won't notice him moving his chariots in behind us. Okay, that's why he's come on such a wide loop there to get in behind us. So that's what I'm thinking he's thinking there. He's going to get his chariots in behind us, which would be a good tactical move. We know Earth is a good tactical player. And as I say, you've got Mantu's fully upgraded Sacred Band cavalry on this flank as well. So I'm wondering here whether the enemy are thinking about hitting us on the right here. The way they're positioning the chariots, the cavalry, the fully upgraded cavalry they're moving around, they may well be looking to hit us on the right. I don't know what all of you think, but that could be where they're going to hit first. Okay, at this stage of the battle, as I say, you can see Mantu's slingers moving forward. Remember, he had 7 slingers there, and make no mistake there, he'll be shooting his slingshots into our Macedonian ally. That's why Pompey's got his forward units in open formation. You've got Lando's archers coming forward as well. But what I wanted to show you here is, remember my 6 archers here. If you notice, I've got them in close, tight formation for more impact and more damage. I'm not going to waste my arrows, if you like, on those enemy archers there. I know Lando's only got 2 archers, or those slingers. Okay, can you guess why I am not using my archers on those slingers and a couple of archer units there? Why am I saving my archers? Right. Okay, well, the reason I'm saving the firepower of my 6 archers here is because I'm waiting for these head hurlers to come into range. Okay, now remember, these head hurlers, as we say, got devastating firepower, but they are short range. And my archers, most of my archers are long range here, so I'm hoping to cause a lot of casualties to those head hurlers before they even get into range. So that's why I'm saving my my archers here, ready for when those head hurlers get into range. Okay, so that's why I'm not engaging those other missile units of the enemy troops there. And as I say here, you can see Earth moving his chariots, as we said earlier, very slowly round behind us here, probably hoping that we won't notice that his chariots have got in behind us. As I said earlier, Earth, very tactical player there, and positioning his chariots in behind us would be a good tactical move. Okay. So, as I say here, you can see, right. Okay, at this stage of the battle here, you'll see that Cal has moved his Scipii army forward and Mantu has moved his spearmen back. Obviously, Mantu doesn't want to lose troops to Pila exchange in there going on. But here you'll see that Earth has split his head hurlers into 2. Okay, he's got 7 head hurlers he's got left there, and he's moving the other 7 head hurlers off to the flank there. Okay, so he has decided, rather than use his 14 head hurlers in one massive group, if you like, he split them into 2. Maybe looking to do a flanking attack, maybe on the flank here, as that's the way he's moving his head hurlers to. And the other group of head hurlers he may well take to the front of the battle there. But as I say there, you can see him moving 7 of his head hurlers there forward. And as I say, you've got that fully upgraded cavalry of Mantu there as well. So the way those head hurlers are moving, plus that fully upgraded cavalry, plus we know we got the enemy chariots moving in behind us here, they could well be looking to hit us on the right flank. Okay, if you notice, I've moved my Greeks' army a little bit over to the right. Here you can see Cal taking his Scipii army over to the left flank there, as he can obviously see some danger. And as I say, I'm going to step into the breach now, as Cal's just moved from the right over to the centre there, and I'm going to move my spearmen over to the right flank there to help defend against those head hurlers and those fully upgraded cavalry. You say I've got my archers there all ready to neutralise those head hurlers if I can. Now here's a good move here by Pompey there with his companion cavalry, taking out those slinger units. That's a nice move there. Obviously he's seen the enemy cavalry, knows that they're not really hiding anywhere where they're going to run out to get him. He's got his cavalry in open order there and in normal formation, so if any cavalry does come out from the woods, he'd be able to outrun them and get back to his battle lines there. So that's a nice move there by Pompey to take out those slinger units. And as I say, it's got the potential to be a great battle, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay, at this stage of the battle here, you can see that Earth is bringing over his head hurlers, the other half of his head hurlers. You remember he had them all over there. He split his head hurlers into 2 separate armies here, and he's bringing his other head hurlers over here now to be able to throw those heads in if the enemy attacks from the front. And as I say, over here on our right flank, you've got loads of head hurlers there in open order there to avoid less casualties from our missile fire. Plus he's got his 2 heavy barbarian warlord chariots there to guard those head hurlers from any cavalry attack there. As I say, I've got my archers there in close tight formation for more impact and more damage. You've got Pompey's got a couple of archer units there as well, all ready to try and neutralise those head hurlers. And as I say, you can see Earth here has got 4 of his heavy warlord chariots in behind us there, ready to charge into the rear of us when he feels that the time is right. Okay, so you can see the enemy, to me, are set now for an attack. Now we know Lando is one of the most aggressive attacking players on Rome Total War here, and here you can see him moving his SPQR army over. Now I'm not sure if Spearman might try and hit him as he's moving, It looks like Spearman's looking there, maybe possibly there to attack the flank of Lando's infantry as it's moving over there. Can you see the way Spearman's moving forward there? And here comes Lando's cavalry, and bang! As Spearman's Julii cavalry smashes in to Lando's SPQR cavalry there. So this is going to turn into a real cavalry fight here. I can see Cal bringing his Scipii cavalry over as well. And there you are, you can see Lando moving his SPQR infantry forward into the fray. Okay, you can see Spearman bringing some of his Julii infantry into the fray as well. You can see Lando's now pulling his cavalry back out there as Cal was bringing his Scipii cavalry. Looked like he was going to try and get in round behind him there with that cavalry. So as I say here, you can see Spearman now going into the rear of Lando's SPQR infantry. They're trying to rout a couple of units with his cavalry as he runs through them. But unfortunately for us, didn't quite rout any of them. Right, let's pause again for a second right here. You can see now Earth is bringing his chariots into the rear of Cal's cavalry. Okay, now you can see Cal is facing away from the chariot, so Earth is going to smash into the rear of them there. But I've got to be honest with you, I don't like fighting cavalry with my chariots, because in my experience the chariots always come off worse. That's what I've found when I've tried to fight cavalry with chariots here. So it'll be interesting to see how Earth does here, bearing in mind he's smashing into the rear of Cal's cavalry. Okay, so there goes the chariots going in there, and bang, as they smash in there. Okay, so there's 4 chariot units here against 6 cavalry units, I believe. 5 or 6 cavalry units here fighting those Britannia warlord chariots. As I say, I don't really like doing that when I've got chariots, because they always seem to come off worse to me. Okay, so that's Earth's generals down now, and it looks to me like all those 4 expensive barbarian warlord chariots have just been taken out and routed there. So as I say there, you can see there you are, the general been killed and that unit's taken out, and all these expensive chariot units have just been taken out there. And that's why I don't like putting chariots up against cavalry, because remember that cavalry do not have the fear factor as infantry do from the chariots. And here you can see the main infantry battle going on here. Now you've got Lando's SPQR troops and the enemy Carthage Spearman there pushing in on our Julii and Scipii ally there. Okay, but you can see here the Head Hurlers moving forward as well to start throwing their heads in to us. You can see, can you see those Head Hurlers running forward, and then they ran back? That's because the skirmish mode hasn't been turned off of them yet, but I dare say Earth will turn the skirmish mode off. Right here you can see Barclayman's cavalry there causing some mischief there, taking out those 2 units. Nice move there by Barclayman there with his cavalry units. You can see Cal's throwing in his Scipii cavalry against those those Sacred Band cavalry there. You can see there some Macedonian cavalry coming in from Pompey, and bang, as they charge in there. Nice support there by Pompey. Over here though, you can see Lando charging his SPQR cavalry into the flank of our allies there. Okay, let's just pause the game for a second here. So as I say, you can see a lot of pressure here. Plus, you can see those Head Hurlers throwing those effective against armour heads into our allies' infantry there. And make no mistake, see the black dots there, the heads there, going in to our allies' fighting infantry. So make no mistake, they will be causing a lot of casualties. And as I say, you've got Lando's SPQR troops, plus some Carthage Sacred Band Spearmen, plus those SPQR cavalry smashing into our allies. Right here you can see the Carthage moving forward here. Now remember, those Carthage Sacred Band punch above their weight against Macedonian pikes there, and they will start taking them out. And you can see some Carthage spearmen here looking like they're going to roll up our flank there from right to left, coming in on Cal and Spearman's infantry. Okay, so there's a lot of pressure on our infantry at the moment. You can see that Pompey's taking a couple of pike units over there to help as much as he can. They look like they've taken out most of Barclayman's Sacred Band cavalry, which is good for us. Okay, but here you can see Lando's SPQR cavalry locked and loaded, ready to charge in there. And as I say, there's a massive scrap going on here. But that cavalry, I know what Lando would do. He'll charge in with that cavalry, do the damage, and pull them straight back out again. But over here, you can see Carthage now is attacking our Macedonian ally. Okay, so that's bad news for us because, as I say, Carthage will beat the Macedonian pikemen. Plus, you've got more Carthage troops there trying to roll us up there as we're fighting. We're being pinned and held at the front with the Carthage troops coming in on us from the flank. Just look at the pressure that our team is under there. Now, over here, you'll see, and remember, I was guarding the right flank here. Okay, so I've got a powerful Spartan army there, but all I've got in front of me is Head Hurlers and that fully upgraded cavalry. Okay, that's all I've got in front of me. No heavy infantry at all, and my Spartan army is just stood there. And Pompey's got a couple of pike units there to try and neutralise any attack from there. So my powerful Spartan army doesn't need to be there. What it needs to be is over there helping our allies out. I think I was fixated on trying to hold that right flank, and I think Pompey shouted out help. And then, of course, I realised then that really that's where my Spartan army should be over there. I don't need my Spartan army to hold this right flank. There's no heavy infantry to hold. So what I need to do now is run my Spartans over to my allies now as quickly as I can. Okay, as I say, you can see Pompey moving those 2 pike units forward there to neutralise the Head Hurlers and that maximum upgraded Sacred Band cavalry of Mantus. Okay, so for all intents and purposes, our right flank is being held there by those 2 pike units while I run my Spartans back over to my allies here who are under a lot of pressure. Now, what I'm thinking here, okay, let's pause again for a second. What I'm thinking here now with my Spartans is to run through my Roman allies and help take out the enemy SPQR infantry, which might be quite quick there because they've been fighting for a long time, and then we can turn all our troops onto the Carthaginians. Okay, that's what I was thinking there. Run my Spartans over, help take out the SPQR infantry, and then all of us can turn on to those Carthage Sacred Band. Okay, so you can see me running my Spartans across now. That's the aim, is to run into the enemy SPQR troops. But Lando's a veteran of RTW. He'll see my Spartans coming across there, and it wouldn't surprise me if he backed his SPQR troops off, as he wouldn't want to fight Spartans head on. And there you go. You see Lando there now is backing his SPQR troops off. He doesn't want to take on my Spartans, so it's no good chasing him now. I'm not going to run out past my allies, but what I need to do now, as I say, you can see the SPQR troops run away, but what I need to do now is to turn my Spartans against those Carthage Sacred Band units coming in on our flank. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do with my Spartans there. You can see here the Head Hurlers still throwing their heads in, although a few of them have thrown all their heads, look, and just got their swords out. So these guys now are just light infantry. Okay, they've thrown all their heads, and now, as I say, they're just light infantry now. And so, as I say, you can see the battle here is developing. Now over here on our right flank, those 2 pike units of Pompey's have now been taken out. So all those Head Hurlers and that maximum upgraded cavalry can now smash into the rear of our units. Okay, can you see there now? Our archers are very susceptible to being hit, and also, as I say, they'll get in behind us as well. Remember, that's Mantu's fully upgraded Sacred Band cavalry, and I think at least 7, maybe 8 Head Hurlers coming in from that flank. But as I say, what I need to do now is to turn my Spartans onto those Carthage Sacred Band units there and try to neutralise the attack that they're bringing in. Now remember, you've got Barclayman's Sacred Band Spearman, and you've got Mantu's Sacred Band Spearman coming in on that flank. Okay, so there you are. I'm going to turn to face them and try and neutralise the attack coming in from those Sacred Band troops. Yeah, you can see I'm doing that there. You can see that Mantu with his fully upgraded cavalry are taking out our archers here, and there comes those chariots as well. Remember, Earth had 2 chariots there that he hasn't used yet. So I think Mantu's going to get a lot of kills in this game because he's really killing a lot of our archers there and chasing down our routing archers as well. So I think, as I say, Mantu's going to get some good kills there, taking out our archers, so that's a good move for him. But as I say, here I've got my Spartans now engaging those Carthage Sacred Band units. Okay, so trying to stop them from rolling us up, which what they were trying to do there earlier on. So let's pause again for a second here. So here you can see Those head hurlers running forward there, and making no mistake there, they will be pounding my Spartans with those heads, plus my Macedonian ally as well. We're both going to get pounded from those heads there as I'm fighting those Carthaginians there. And remember, if my units start to lose a lot of troops from those head hurlers, casualties there, then I will probably start to rout. But here you can see Mantu's Sacred Band cavalry there, and you've got Earth chariots. Now what I was thinking was, if they combined the chariots and the cavalry that they've got, they could do a lot of damage here to our troops, I'm thinking. I don't know what you guys are thinking, but that's what I was thinking during the course of the battle. Now also you've got all of Lando's cavalry there. So Lando's cavalry, the two chariot units that brings fear to infantry, takes morale away from them, plus the fully upgraded cavalry of Mantu. If they all combine, right, and combine their attacks, they could take out a heck of a lot of our troops there and get in behind us. So I was just thinking if they're going to do that during this course of this battle here. But as I say, my Spartans are trying to move forward. I'm attacking aggressively these Carthage Sacred Band. I'm not standing back, letting them come to me. If you notice there, I'm moving forward into those Carthaginians there, really trying to be aggressive against those Spearmen. You can see Lando's got some of his SPQR units coming in on my flank. Did you just see all those heads there? See all those black dots, all those effective against armor heads? Oh my gosh, my Spartan general's just been taken out. Okay, so that's bad news for us there with my general. No more morale bonus from him. But at the rear here, you can see, can you see Cal's infantry is a little bit spread out. If all the chariots, the enemy chariots and cavalry smash into Cal's infantry here, I don't know what you guys are thinking, but do you think there's a good chance of maybe taking out Cal's infantry? Let's just pause the game for a second here. So there's Cal's infantry there. Okay, so you've got chariots there and there, which, as I said, takes morale away from enemy troops, plus that fully upgraded Sacred Band cavalry. Do you think if they smashed into Cal's infantry there from different angles, they got a good chance of taking his cavalry out? I don't know what you guys think there, but a combined chariot and cavalry hit is very, very powerful. And that, you know, maybe that's something that they might consider. And don't forget, you've got Lando's cavalry knocking around somewhere as well. So a combined cavalry and chariot hit on Cal's infantry maybe could have routed it there. And as I say, just look at these heads being thrown into both my Macedon ally and my Spartans there. And make no mistake, we are suffering loads of casualties from those effective against armour heads. You can just see those heads coming into us there. As I say, my Spartans here, I'm aggressively moving forward into the Carthaginians. I'm not standing back in defence mode, I'm just attacking flat out here. That's good news for us, just killed the Carthage general. So one of the Carthage generals there, so that's good news for us there. And their morale should now drop. So as I say, good news for us. Right, let's just pause the game for a second here. Right, okay, so here you can see the chariots charging in, possibly into Cal's Scipii army. You've got enemy cavalry out there that could charge in as well, plus Mantu's cavalry. Now you imagine those chariots and all that enemy cavalry charging in to Cal's infantry there. Plus you could throw in these light infantry. Now the head hurlers that have thrown all their heads, they are now light infantry. You could throw them into Cal's infantry as well. And I think there's a chance you could rout Cal's infantry there. Possibly. Here you got the slingers and the head hurlers there. You can see the slingers have thrown all their slingshots. You can see they've thrown their swords, drawn their swords out. The head hurlers there are still carrying heads though, so they've still got ammunition here, as you can see. When they're carrying their heads, that means obviously they've still got ammunition. But if you see them carrying their swords, and obviously they've thrown all their heads there. Okay, so that's what's happening there. Right, there's the chariots going in like a bang. Right, now the cavalry, the enemy cavalry there. Can you see? Let's pause the game. Right, the chariots have engaged. There you are, Cal's infantry. If the cavalry charged in from that side into his flank there, I know it's battle damage there, but it's still quite, you know, quite could do a lot of damage. And Mantu's fully upgraded cavalry. I reckon that Cal's infantry, I don't know what you guys think, could well have been taken out there. I don't know what you think there, but I don't know what the cavalry, enemy cavalry, is just, not, don't mean to be disrespectful, but they just stood there. Right, now, just show you something here. Lando has just admitted defeat. Okay, I know he's only got battle damaged cavalry left and a few infantry units left, but he has just admitted defeat. I think his general was still alive as well, so he was still giving morale to his allies and his troops there. So unfortunately for the enemy there, Lando has just admitted defeat. Let's say here you can see the head hurlers, they still got ammunition left. You can see them throwing the heads into our troops there. Just look at the volume of those heads going in, and those head hurlers have been damaged as well. They're battle damaged, but you can still see the volume of heads that are thrown into us. And as I said, remember, every one of those heads is effective against armor, so it's going to be doing a lot of damage there. And you can see Earth moving down, but because Lando's admitted defeat now, it wouldn't surprise me if Earth admitted defeat, because I think basically all his chariots are dead, and I don't think he's got yeah, he's just so that's Earth has just admitted defeat now. So basically now it's just Mantu, and I think Barclayman still got a couple of units left there. But as I say here, you can see Earth has just admitted defeat. But if you look at the enemy units left there, there's only a few battle damaged spear units left. I think all the slingers have fired all their slingshots there. Really, Mantu's just got his fully upgraded cavalry left there, the only powerful units that he's got. And as I say, he must have spent a lot of money on fully upgrading those Sacred Band cavalry, and to still have them left with reasonable numbers left, like he must probably thinking that he maybe didn't use them to their full potential, possibly. Right, let's just pause the game for a second. I just want to have a look here at Spearman's general unit. One man left there in that general unit, and of course it is his general. Okay, so last man standing in the general unit is actually his general. So that just goes to show how attritional this battle was, with just him, just that one man left in his general unit. I think he's got 1, 2, 3. He's got about, including the general left in his general unit, I think he's got about 4 units left. That's all he's got left in his entire army there. So as I say, it was a real battle of attrition, and Cal's very weakened their army, and our Macedonian allies very weakened as well. Right, we're going to go up to triple speed now, because there's no way that Mantu is going to win now with what he's got left. So hopefully he'll admit the defeat in a minute. As I say, at this stage of the battle, as we've talked about before, when there's no chance of winning, you may as well just admit defeat. Let's get back into the lobby and get another game going. That's what I always think. So there you are, he's just admitted defeat now. So just having a look at the battlefield here, you'll see that it is quite spread out. Remember over here on the right flank, remember where they were attacking us with the head hurlers and that fully upgraded Sacred Band cavalry? Can you see all the dead head hurlers here? Now these have been killed by archer fire. Okay, remember I kept my archers back there to try and kill as many as I could. And then, as you can see here, a lot of our archers killed here, I think mostly by Mantu's fully upgraded cavalry. And there's some more head hurlers dead there, look. And as you look around the battlefield, you'll see big clumps of dead all over the place, where you can see the intensity of the fight. And see that gap in the middle there of hardly any dead. And you can see that's where we were fighting in all different directions, with that being the centre of our force there. That's why there's not many dead there. But if, as I say, if you look around the battlefield here, you can see big clumps of dead all over the side. I think this is where the main battle was fought here against Lando. You can see lots of dead troops here as we move up the battlefield here. There are lots of, as I say, you can see a lot of cavalry dead there by the looks of it to me. And over here, look, that's where Earth charges chariots into Lando's cavalry. As I say, there you can see the wheels of the chariots that come off, and the carcass of the chariot there, look, with the wheels off, just laid on the battlefield there, in amongst the Scipii cavalry dead. But as I say, that's one thing I don't do, is charge chariots in the cavalry, because from my experiences, usually the chariots come off worse. And there was a load of chariots there, and now I'm guessing because there's no other dead around them, they were killed maybe by archers or something like that, maybe. But yeah, so I think that was quite an intense battle there. Okay, the first thing I'd like to say is really well played to everybody in the game. I thought everybody played well. And as you can see, it was a close victory, as we would expect it to be. I thought through watching the battle, highest kills goes to that very old Spartan army and battle formation of mine. Managed to scrape in the highest kills. But something more interesting I thought that you might find interesting here is that the enemy teamlet have got the second, okay, got the second, third, fourth and fifth highest kills in the game. So the enemy, the losing team, of course I got the highest kills, but the losing team have got the second, third, fourth and fifth highest kills in the game, and as I said, are in the losing team. I always think that must be quite unusual. So well done to Earth, got some good kills with Britannia there, well played to him. Well done to Mantu. Now remember, Mantu only had 7 infantry in his Carthage army, and he got the second highest kills in the game. So well done to Mantu. As I say, I think he killed a lot of our archers with his cavalry. Well done to Barclayman, did well with his Carthage army. And well done to Lando, nice aggressive attacks there. So really well played, guys. Nice diverse team too. Well done to Spearman, probably didn't get the kills that he wanted to there, but he held the line extremely well. He was like kind of the anchor of the team, along with Cal, holding that front line there. So well done to him. Well done to Pompey, supporting all over the battlefield with his pikemen there, as he always does. Well done to him. And well done to Cal, possibly didn't get the kills that he wanted to either, but he did well at holding the line there. So I hope you enjoyed this battle. As I say, I thought the other team, well, both teams were quite diverse, and I hoped you liked the bit about Britannia as well. Please leave us a thumbs up if you enjoyed the battle. Look forward to seeing you soon. Bye for now.